Good evening, Money League. It's 8:30 on Sunday evening. I bring to you the very first of its kind mock draft for the 2023 season. All other mock drafts are just imitators. There's no logic, there's no thought process at all because you're all a bunch of bums. I'm over here working two jobs and doing mock drafts. So, without further ado, I'll jump right into this. We don't have time. So obviously we did the draft order as we've done the last few years. Brad horseshoe up his ass yet again. So he picks number one. I think he's had number one or two virtually every year, maybe one exception to that. He got number one. Very simple. I think there's really, even in this scoring format, being very high scoring, I still think there's really one player. The 101 to me is a very easy pick. That's Justin Jefferson. He'll be the first receiver, to my knowledge, ever being taken in this league. Number one. He's a 101. He's an absolute unicorn. So, Brad, that's an easy smash. You should put the sticker up already. You probably will overthink it, and you'll be sweating all the way to the freaking draft. I wrote this all in pencil. This is kind of hard, especially with our league format. It's difficult. So Kuba's number two. He gets to start off real well with Wilson and J.K. Dobbins. I'm not really sure what's going on. I know it's a contract situation, but I think both of those players are like 7th, 9th round keepers. So that's a really good start for him. It's a quarterback league. I have him going Mahomes. This might be where I kind of lose the draft because if he doesn't go Mahomes there, it's really going to throw everything off. But I think Kuba is going to go quarterback with that strong start. He gets to throw up there those two good players. Clint picked number three, and I know why Clint picked number three. It's real simple why Clint picked number three. He looked at it and he said, "There's three top players, and I don't have to make a decision." So you're going to get Chase. Chase to me is really just a notch just below Jefferson. I think there's a couple other receivers that are nipping right on his heels, but Chase is a real young, dynamic player. He puts up huge yardage every week. Even with the timeshare there and the mouths to feed, he still commands, 30% target share or more. So he's a really good player. Next up, Jimmy at 4. Jimmy is going to go. I have a feeling Jimmy's going with McCaffrey. I think it's kind of an easy pick. Even the timeshare there, Shanahan likes to use multiple running backs, but McCaffrey's so dynamic in the passing game. He catches so many balls that even if he's in a 60-40 split, he's still a dynamic player. He'll put up big yardage. If he can stay healthy, it's always the question with McCaffrey. Craig, to me, you're going to take Eckler. Eckler's not exciting to me, but if you just look at his numbers, he's super consistent. He catches close to 100 balls. He's right at 1,000 yards. He's always involved. He's actually relatively healthy. I know he's got banged up towards the end of the year a few different times, but a small, diminutive guy that actually stays on the field. He's less. I think he's 27 years old, even though he seems like he's been around for a long time. So not a lot of miles on the tires with that guy. So good player there. Mikey's just throwing heat around like we don't know what the hell you're going to do. Mikey, I love you. Your team last year was fucking dreadful. Dreadful. One exception. And you're smart. You're good. You're smart enough to know. Josh Allen. It's a quarterback league. Josh Allen is your pick. Maybe you sub in Hurts, as my kids are yelling upstairs. Maybe you sub in Hurts, but you're going quarterback, which is why you're trying to trade back to 12 to try and get a little bit better value for that pick. That's what you're doing. JJ, Mr. Reliable. I kind of know what you're going to do. You like to go with guys that you know. I think Barkley's going to be climbing up draft boards now that he kind of figured out that contract. But I think this is a good landing spot for him, middle of the first round in this league scoring format, where quarterbacks are going to go a little bit early. That's a good value for Barkley right there at, I believe that's number 7. So that's good value there. This year it's a time to be picking towards the end of the draft, but you idiots that got your ball picked early decided to pick early. I don't know why. It's pretty silly to do that. I kind of wish I went a little bit later, frankly. I'm going to go Tyreek. To me, Tyreek has 2,000-yard upside. The guy is a monster. When Tua was on the field, even feeding Waddle too. I mean, those are two great players. JJ, you should be keeping Tua. Um, Tyreek is just phenomenal. I think he's right there with those, just a notch below Jefferson, and I think he's right on par with Chase. He's right there. So at 8, that's a great pick. Obviously, I took him. Joel, you got to go with that rookie. I think that kid looks pretty good. I wouldn't actually doubt if I do multiple drafts that he starts climbing. He looks like a really good player. He might have that Saquon Barkley rookie year upside. Who knows? Um, Chris Sweet, this guy I love, but there's a lot of red flags on him. I certainly would consider him at 8, and he has the potential to go higher. To me, he's as talented as a receiver. So I'm talking about Cooper Kupp. I've had Cooper Kupp multiple times. The guy's an absolute monster. I think he just turned 30. Has a hammy now, and those lower body injuries going into the season are frightening to me. But his upside is as good as anybody. I think he had. It was something along the lines of the year before last. He was 80% of the time over 20 points in a standard format. Obviously, that's obscene. That's league winning upside. Comes with risk, but at number 10, you'll have to make the decision if that's worth the risk. If he wasn't hurt, he'd be going well before number 10. There's no doubt. Greg, I think everyone always thinks of you as a running back guy. I know the last few years you've kind of switched it up. You've done some different things in the first and second round, but I think at your core, you're a running back guy. You're also at 11, so you're, mercy of the board, and those 4 receivers already went. So I'm going to give you Chubb. I think you're going to be comfortable with that. You'll be happy you'll throw that sticker up real quick. You'll be happy with that. Tail end of the draft is Shmoo. Shmoo's a real wild card with what he can do. Of course, he's got really the pick of the litter when it comes to the rest of the guys available. I have you going Kelsey. I could see you going Hurts. I could see you going, if Jonathan Taylor figures out the contract situation, that's a great value at 12. And I could see you going Diggs. I don't see Diggs as the same upside as the 4 receivers that went before him, but he's pretty darn solid. He's consistent week to week. He's not like a big spike week guy, which like Tyreek is, but Tyreek has that league winning upside that I don't think Diggs has. So that's those are my guys. I got 3 quarterbacks ish. If Hurts I think Hurts is going to go up the top of the second. So we'll see 3 receivers go, or 3 quarterbacks go pretty early. And receivers are going to go, but at the end of the day, the DNA of this league and the league fixtures, are running back to the core. So we're not going to see a huge run. I don't see like CD or AJ Brown or some of those other, Amon-Ra, one of those guys kind of sneaking into the back end. I don't see that. They'll go early second, but for now, this is my draft. See ya. Oh, we're also brought to you by 1792. Foolproof sponsor.